I'm Leslie from Deeply Southern Home. In today's DIY tutorial, I'm taking you through the process of wallpaper removal for 2 separate bathrooms. There's a lot of value in that because it's not just like one project where I show you, oh, it worked really great for this one. No, I'm going to show you 2 projects. You'll see in watching the video that both of these bathrooms and the wallpaper removal process had their very unique challenges. And so while this may not be exactly what you'll uncover in your process, I do think that it's helpful to share so that you can see at least 2 different ways that I approach the project. And so the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is that I will never ever remove wallpaper without using a steamer. Categorically, will not ever. It is an extremely helpful tool. I should say that HomeRite sent me this steamer. They sent it to me and said, Leslie, try it. If you love it, you can do a blog post and even a video if you'd like. And of course, I'm standing here today, so that means that I love it because I'm not going to put my name behind some product I don't believe in. And so there's a link to the product that I used below. In order to get everything you need, you will need to order 2 things. You'll order the steamer and then the wallpaper removal plate. You'll need both of those, but you'll find lots of other uses for the steamer. In fact, I'm going to put a little extra video at the very end to show you how I use the steamer to clean both of the bathroom's floors for different projects. So I'm standing in the first bathroom that I did. This is my daughter's bathroom that I gave a budget-friendly makeover, and one of the main elements in this room was to remove a diamond patterned wallpaper. Look how lovely this was. And look at it now. People will tell you to use vinegar or fabric softener and especially hot water. Hot water is the trick. It is the magic pill, but the best way to get hot water on a wall is with a steamer. Why would you do anything else? That's what I say. And then the other thing that I really want to stress is that in both instances, if I would have just jumped into the project and started to use one of those claw things, do you know what I'm talking about? Those little wheels that spin around with the little dots. I would have created a lot more problem had I started using that. So I would caution you, if you feel like you need to use something like that, to start with the steamer, remove some wallpaper before you decide that that is necessary. And you'll see why that is important as we go along. So I hope this tutorial is helpful, and I hope you enjoy watching the recap. The first thing you want to do is to fill your steamer with water. It comes with this handy little funnel and measuring cup. I found it took 3 cups to get it full, and then you want it to heat up. And just be careful not to overfill it because water will come out of the top or the back. So this is the first segment I took after about an hour of wallpaper removal. I did have a friend helping me do this part. Really just need to wipe it down with some soapy water just to get the last bit of glue that might have been left, but it's of course, now you see that I made a remarkable discovery that there was a layer of wallpaper underneath that first layer. And here's a video of me talking about that. Wallpaper can be several different kinds, and in each different kind of wallpaper, you remove it differently. This is a very thin wallpaper from the 90s, probably pre-pasted, and so it's very thin. It's that kind that if you pull on it, not a lot comes off. But the steam machine did an excellent job, and because they primed this, it's not coming down. Now maybe if I used one of those claw things, that might work, but then I don't know what's underneath that. So this seems very stable. I'm gonna leave it. I've done my due diligence. I'm going to take off the first layer of wallpaper and prime again this layer. It's kind of remarkable that even at the seams, where we kind of could pick out where the seams were on the polka dot, it's not moving. So no sense in making a big old mess when I don't need to. And then I'll clean it after I get all the paper off. In this time-lapse video, which in real time is about 18 minutes, You can see I'm using the steamer, obviously, to take the wallpaper off. I steam, and then I take the wallpaper scraper. That specific tool is very handy because it helps you stay flat and not gouge your wall. And then that spraying that you saw I was doing there, that was just soapy water to help get some of the glue off. I tried to remember to clean as I went, but it was really hard because once you get going, ripping that paper off, it's hard to stop. And so you can see the process goes quite quickly. The only limitation is that, you know, it only will tear off what you've steamed. And so, but once you're gonna get it started like that, it just, you see how fast it comes off. It's really quite remarkable. And to give you a feel for just how quick this process is, this video clip here is not sped up. It is actual time. So you hold it on there for 20-30 seconds, you start the ripping, and any of that little paper that's left once that top layer comes off really only needs another 10 seconds of steaming, and it just disintegrates. So I figured you probably wanted to see the progress and see all those lovely polka dots. Someone messaged me and said that they had 2 layers of wallpaper similar to this, and when they removed the second layer, it totally had to replace all the drywall. And I believe that's why this was primed, is because up there, I don't know if you can see, but there is a patch of drywall that had been removed where someone had tried to remove that wallpaper. So it's up there and it's not coming down. There are 2 things I want to point out with this video clip. You can see here this gray wall, that is actual drywall. So they had removed the polka dotted wallpaper in that section, and of course the steamer did a great job. I used this attachment to get the wallpaper off in this small little crevice or any little corner that was a little tight because that plate wouldn't fit, and it was very quick work to get that off. You just obviously can't work in very big sections at a time with that direct steam. So I continue that process all around the room and then clean the walls very well with soap and water, allowed it to dry, primed it, and then painted it. And the Kills tribute paint that I used covered those polka dots completely in one pass, which was really quite remarkable. The second project was a powder bathroom in a show house that I designed and decorated. I can't show you a complete reveal of the project because the tours haven't happened as of yet. So here is what it looked like before. And here's a little bitty sneak peek of what you can see now. Yesterday I said I was going to explain why this wallpaper is being so tedious. Do you see? There's like real leaves, skeletal leaves embossed in this paper. And so if I steam it for too long and use a scraper like this, then all that happens is that the leaves remove from the foil, and then the foil is really hard to get off. It's almost like it just starts to, I don't know what it does. It's just really difficult. And I'm not using one of those tiger paw kind of things because I need the walls in pristine condition for what I'm going to do next. And so I'm afraid that if I use that and accidentally apply too much pressure, I'd have little dots all over the wall. So what ended up working best was steaming a small section, doing my best to get the paper and the leaves off at the same time. You can see I got a good little piece there. And so once that came off, the paper backing, of course, steamed off very quickly. This wallpaper was put up with wallpaper paste, which meant that in some areas the paste was a lot thicker than others, and the best way to get that off was to use that attachment again and just basically power wash it off the walls. It did an excellent job. And as awful as this photo looks, it was quite the celebration because that was the very last piece of copper foil wallpaper to be removed. In the end, the only part of the wall that needed to be patched was a bad seam and where I removed a towel bar. Ending up with a perfect wall was important because I followed all of this up with primer and molding and high gloss paint. So I needed the drywall to be in perfect condition and didn't have time to do lots of repairs. And here's your little bonus use for the steamer. I used it and a little bit of cleaner to clean the grout on my daughter's bathroom, and then I did that grout renew product, but of course you have to have that extremely clean to begin with. For the show house bathroom, I decided to paint the tile, and in order to do that, the floors have to be perfectly cleaned. I cleaned them first with TSP and thought that was really good, and then followed it up with the steamer, and it was crazy how much cleaner it was after the steamer.